Alright, good morning gamers. I had something completely different planned for today, but I just have to get my thoughts out on this. I just read this tweet by Respawn saying that after much consideration and debate, they have decided to remove tap strafing from Play Apex in patch 10.1. Their reasoning is that it's inaccessible, it lacks readability / counterplay, and it's exacerbated by movement abilities. The next patch notes will feature a more detailed note about this. And as someone who uses tap strafe religiously, like this is the base of the school of the ottr, it's the base of my movement. I'm going to be biased when I say this, but reading the comments and the replies to this tweet, it's very obvious that a lot of people are sharing the same thoughts about this. And those thoughts are that this move is bull crap. This is awful. This is not a good thing at all. This is a bad look for the game. Respawn has again made a decision that aims to please the lower denominator of the player base, the casual player base, the people who aren't as good. We've seen this before and before with movement ability specifically. The two that come off at the top of my head are zipline jumping, where you can sort of just bounce back and forward on ziplines, which you can do like 2 or 3 times now, and B-hop healing. And this is it's a big problem. This is probably a pretty huge decision that comes out of Respawn, if you think about it, because Respawn, this is just a really big decision from Respawn, because there've been a lot of debates about tap strafing. This has been, I think tap strafing has been a huge deal for some time now. It's been gaining more and more popularity. I've seen clips about huge streamers. Looked up my guide the other day. I'm super starstruck by that, by the way, but a lot of people have looked up my guide, they've watched it, and I've seen the uptick in the traffic from my end. It's very obvious that the interest in tap strafing is going up. These huge streamers, Trainwrecks and Nick Mercs and whatever, they're seeing this, they're spreading it to their communities, and I'm gonna have to assume that with the influx of all of these new Call of Duty players, they had to make the decision that, hey, wait a minute, we can't have this in our game. Respawn knew that our diehard player base are fine with tap strafing, and then we got all the COD players, you got all the console players coming into the game, and they're upset. They're upset they can't tap strafe anymore. They're upset they can't use this advanced movement technique anymore. Admittedly, it was a little bit easy to use once you learn the timing, use a scroll wheel, but it's still a movement technique. And I'm pissed. I'm genuinely in such a bad mood right now. I'll manage. I said I'd quit the game if they remove it. I don't know if I will anymore. I don't think I'm in a situation where I can just up and leave at the moment. They called my bluff, I guess. I don't think I was in a position to just straight up and leave with the current, level my content is at. Speaking of which, make sure you like the video or subscribe or whatever. But yeah, no, so I'm going through as a thing that bothers me a lot, and I tweeted this and I said, well, remove aim assist now. So I complain about aim assist. Every mouse and keyboard player probably does. It's just like an ongoing debate. I just don't like hearing arguments from either side. But one argument I've been seeing a lot, which has been pissing me off to no end, is whenever there's talks about aim assist possibly being too strong. For example, the console aim assist is akin to an aimbot compared to the PC aim assist. A lot of people have said, well, you have tap strafing. You can tap strafe. You can 180 tap strafe, backflip, send a console player back to the lobby, no problem. Well, now it's gone. We don't have tap strafing anymore. So now there's more incentive than ever to play on controller. There's just so much more incentive to play on controller. The movement is getting nerfed, and this is the biggest one. This is a steeple of movement. If you watch my tap strafing guide, which now is obviously not really that relevant anymore, I'm showing a crap ton of examples, and this is the base of movement. You can chain so many more techniques with the tap strafing. It's like you're removing I don't even know, B-hopping. It's like you remove the jump button, and they just flat out deleted it from the game. Or will be deleting it from the game. They haven't said the specifics, but you can obviously tell with an announcement like this that it will be of catastrophic consequences if they come. Like, I'd hope they're gonna turn backwards on this and sort of go do an OnlyFans. They'll be like that. Okay, wait, we can't do this. This is not gonna work. We gotta take a step back here. You just keep tap strafing in the game. But I genuinely think that for them to make an announcement like this, they've made up their mind 10 minutes ago. They're going to pull the trigger on this. What they're doing is, by making a decision, we haven't seen a lot of decisions on movement meta for a while now, and I, for one, was hoping that they were done with nerfing skilled movement, nerfing movement techniques and all of these things. Respawn doesn't seem like they're done. Respawn seems like they're, by making this decision, we've started a slippery slope, and who knows, maybe in 1 or 2 years, Apex Legends movement will be akin to Counter-Strike. That's actually, we're seeing more of a ledge boost sort of meta there. So what's worse than Counter-Strike? Halo? I don't know. There's just no movement. We're gonna end up having people walking everywhere with static movement or forced to use abilities. It just removes a lot of the skill ceiling from the game. It makes it more accessible for newer players, for bad players to do well, and there's less wiggle room or room for abilities abilities or whatever for good players, you know, to do well. There's less of a craft to master and this and that, aka they're lowering the skill floor, they're lowering the skill ceiling, and that's just not good. Long term, it's really bad because it removes the incentive to get better. The skills of both the high skill, the low skill, it comes closer together, and it actually removes a piece of the game that's so unique. So you're making it more dumbed down and less special. You keep making decisions like this, removing movement. I don't know what's gonna come next. I genuinely cannot think what's gonna come next. What do you guys think they're gonna come after next? I don't have any idea what Respawn is going to do. I don't know what they're thinking, but I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot more decisions, dumbing it down for the casuals down the line. And this might end up actually destroying Apex's identity. It's a very slippery slope that we're heading down. Looking at these responses on Twitter, there's a lot of people that agree. We have Nokoko saying this is the crappiest decision ever made. We have Esdesu saying, I hope to see the news in the future that you guys will turn off the aim assist in tournaments. I thought it would be something nothing worse than removing the appealing. Never been so wrong. I've got Monsoon, great guy. I know I said I hated tap strafing when it surfaced. You should change it, but honestly, the only change that's acceptable here is change within myself. I'm a changed man. Keep it in. Please, God, please. I love it. It's so best. I can close gap while getting crapped on by 200. 200 to 0 without someone using their feet, please. Julia saying ordering controller BRB. RPR says one of the worst decisions you have made in some time, completely killing the little bit of movement skill that remained in the game. Because yes, like I said, we've seen so many nerfs, and the other nerfs to movement are escaping me, but I know there's been several other changes, usually small patches and this and that have been actively just nerfing the movement skill in the game. There's a bit of a hot take. I've seen a few pros discussing this, maybe jokingly so, but if they keep nerfing mouse and keyboard, to keep nerfing movement, you're gonna see a lot of professional players picking up a controller and sticking with it. With the LGS latest rules, you're not allowed to run hybrid anymore, so you have to stick to one input. And like I said, because of the changes to mouse and keyboard, and I'm going to have to assume there's a lot more to come, maybe it's time to pick up the sticks and let aim assist do its thing. I'm just saying, we're gonna see some weird stuff in the pro scene in the coming months. I know this is coming off as really ranty, by the way, but it's like, I'm literally just talking about this as it develops. Like, normally I go through like a whole script writing thing and this and that, but I think I'm able to get my thoughts out more or less eloquently. As a bit of a funny side note, there's been a few like bait tweets about this, and seeing all the fuss about it. I had certain people tag me, I had people talking about Discord and whatever, and they were like, yeah, no, this is happening. They're removing tap strafing. I just thought it was another bait, but apparently, yeah, no, it's obviously the real thing. But it took me like 3 takes before I realized that, yeah, they're actually doing this. It's just such an unrealistic decision to make. It probably goes without saying that movement techniques such as the super glide will be removed. It's a little bit weird that they're starting with tap strafing, but I think this is probably going to be the beginning of the end. Like, they'll start with the tap strafers, and then they'll come for the super gliders, and they'll just check off all of these so-called exploits until there's nothing left. I think something they should do is just remove aim assist, because since tap strafing is impossible for controller players, they should remove aim assist because it's impossible for mouse and keyboard players. A big question to me is, are they going to change the OG momentum shift? Now, I've never learned how to do this, but it seemed to be pretty straightforward, so I'm very curious to see if they're going to remove any type of movement outplays. And like I said, we're going to get more of a Counter-Strike feel to it, where yeah, you can run, you can jump, you can shoot, you can use your abilities. I guess maybe more like Valorant, but any other type of movements is outright banned. We actually talked a little bit about this in the Apex Pros versus Casuals video I made not too long ago, where Respawn is making these changes for the majority. It makes sense, that's where the money is, but the game will, at this rate, lose all of its personality, and that's a scary thought. Sure, you're gonna have little Timmy playing the game a few years from now, but all the skill players, all of the professionals, all of the streamers, they will just go to the next big thing. I sometimes say to myself that, hey, yeah, when I'm kind of just hanging around waiting for something else to come along, and I'm starting to think I'm not the only one. I'm starting to think there's a lot of pros out there, or streamers, that are just waiting, just counting the days and waiting for something else to come out. And with the track record Respawn has with these movement decisions, it doesn't really bode well for the future. I think anyone who cares about their career should really take a long look at the decisions they're making, and maybe consider making a move if something else comes out that really fosters this high speed movement, whatever gameplay. But yeah, these were just some assorted thoughts on the subject. Like I said, this just showed up on my timeline, so it's not even an hour old as of this recording, and I haven't really managed to gather all my thoughts, write up a script like I usually do, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. If you guys would like to see more of my opinions on this, you can always check me out on Twitch or whatever. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, all of these things, and I'll see you all tomorrow.